Hey Khalid,
Yes,
yes, glad to finally meet you. First of all, congratulations on obviously passing the evaluation. I think you started with the 5K evaluation and you've been promoted to the portfolio manager for 20,000. So well done on that, fantastic. I love it.
yeah, thank you very much. And my pleasure to be here.
We welcome you with big arms. You know what? Let's get started with the interview. Would you like to go over your experience as a trader and your journey leading up to this point?
Yeah, sure. Well, I started investing maybe 3, 4 years ago. Okay, so I started just to buy shares and hold them for quite a long time, like at least 3 months. And because the account I had was just investing account, there was no way to risk manage your position. So for me, I was just buying and hold. So if I think the stock worth buying, I just go ahead and buy it. And then when it goes against me, I just buy again just to average that position. But maybe in 2018, I came to the UK, and the purpose was doing master degree in quality and patient safety, so nothing to do with finance. So I've seen an ad about brokers, and they offer something like you can start with $100 and CFDs and leverage products. So I deposit, I think, $200. And I remember the first trade I made was just random trade. I just bought dollar yen, and I've lost $50. So I just lost them very quickly, like within 1 hour, $50 gone. So I said, okay, I think I have to withdraw my money. And this is really worth reading about. So I started learning from there. So it was about 2 years ago. So I started just with the YouTube, and yeah, it was just not the appropriate learning way, but I came across two really good channels sometimes, and I read a lot of books, but I didn't trade. So I got an idea about the support and resistance, supply and demand zone, trend lines, and all of these things. And I improved a lot. I mean, but when it comes to practice, I haven't tried at that time. So I opened a demo account later on, and I made a lot of losses, but was absolutely demo account. And then later, when I stopped losing, I opened a real account. Okay, so at that time I had my own strategy, and I started trading, and I wasn't really making money, but at the same time I was not losing money. So I never blow up an account, or I never even lose my more than, let's say, 50% or something. So that was the good part of it, because I was just very conservative, and I was taking everything seriously, and I was very busy with my master at that time. After then, I improved a lot, and I started to make money. Not a lot, of course, just like 0.5% a month, 1%, sometimes 5%. So that was absolutely great for me at the start, because I know so many traders, they don't really make it within few years sometimes. But I think the key was the risk management anyway.
Definitely. I was looking through your statement earlier, and your risk management is probably one of the best I've seen, to be honest. I've seen that you normally risk, by the looks of it, 0.3%. And there was only around 3 occasions that the trade actually hit your stop loss on the full risk, because you normally reduce your losses quickly. So that was pretty impressive. And yes, you're right. Many traders, it takes them multiple years to actually be consistent. Even myself, I'll be completely honest, it took me probably 5 years to finally crack it. It's taking you a year or two, so that's brilliant. Walk me through some of the challenges that you've faced on the actual evaluation.
Well, to be honest, as you know, there are loads of prop firms that they offer similar accounts. But to be honest, the only reason why I've chosen this one, that's the flexibility. So you guys give us a lot. I mean, you treat us like real traders. I mean, not something like you force us to make, for example, 5% within a month or something like that. That's really tough. I mean, you have to be a gambler to do that, and sometimes you will be lucky to make it, and sometimes you might not. So it's all about the market condition at the certain period of time. So for me, when I saw the rules, I really liked it, and I knew that these rules are going to filter the real traders from bad ones. So you gave us a lot of time, and the drawdown is very little, and you have the idea of the relative drawdown. So I knew it's quite tough to do that. So I said, well, I think I can do that. I do risk manage my trade. I know myself. So I started the challenge, and I started with the trading plan. And to be honest, my plan was to done the challenge within 2 months, because at that period of time, the market was trending and I really liked it. But once I started, I mean, only I think the third week, all of a sudden the market was just going sideways. And I know that my strategy doesn't work in sideways markets. In my trading plan, I have to finish this within 2 months. And to be honest, in the first 3 weeks, I made maybe 5% of that 6%. So I only had 1% to finish the challenge. But when the market started to go sideways, I started to lose again. To be honest, at that time, because I just have to make 1% and done with the challenge, I just went ahead and forced some trades, although I risk managed them, but that was just like make me in a drawdown a little bit. So that was the really tough part of the challenge, because I was not really adaptive to the market condition. I just have, at that time, what I should have done is just to step back and relax and see the right opportunities. But forcing the trades was the worst part of it. What makes me even try something like scalping sometimes. I do scalp the market sometimes, but I don't really often do that. And I don't really like scalping at all. But I just force myself to some situation that I shouldn't have done, really. So the challenge was really good. And I always remind myself that, well, I have 1 year to done this. So I don't really have to do it within 2 months, but eventually I made it anyway.
100%. I mean, to be honest, just to re-summarize on what you just said, I can literally see where you went where the market went sideways, and it was after. You can just see in your performance, your actual performance also went sideways for a bit after the 30th trade. If I could just, you can see here, completely smashed it, almost hit your profits. Market went sideways, then you had to obviously adapt, and then you can see the downtrend, but eventually you managed to come back up. And as a trader, it's all about adapting to the market conditions, and you did that fantastically well. Since the beginning, since the inception of your trading, you just went on a complete uptrend. And also, just to summarize again, the fact that we give you a whole year and it suits your trading personality, and like you said, it does filter out the good traders, because you can't really judge a trader by trying to make 5% in 1 month or 10% in 1 month. It doesn't work like that. That means, what kind of trader make 10% every single month consistently? That's impossible. Every single month is going to be different. You might have a month where you're up 1%, the next month 3%, another month minus 1%. You judge a trader by the longevity in the game, and you managed to completely smash it. Would you like to walk me through your current emotions and psychology throughout this equity curve?
Yeah. At the start of the equity curve, to be honest, the market condition was absolutely the best for me, and really suits my strategy. And I started with winning streak. And as you just mentioned, I mean, until the 30 reach more than 30 trades with really good. I've achieved at this point of time like maybe 5% out of 6%. So after that, the market condition was a bit sideways, and I remember there was, to be honest, a lot of money on the table. So I could have just liquidated my positions and done. But at that time, even the trading days was just only 14 days. So I remember I sent an email to you guys, and you replied that you have to do 30 trading days at least. So I said, okay, why do I need to force trade while I can just wait and make trade every day or trade every week until I finish this off? So after that, I had quite losing streak, as you can see, very obvious in the chart. Yeah, that was losing a streak, and that was because forcing trades. And then I stepped back a little bit and wait for the right market condition. Okay, and then I made the higher high again. And then after that, because the target was, to be honest, 5,300. That was the target. So as you can see, I tried to sustain that profit. Okay, but to be honest, when I made that higher high, that was scalping. I mean, this area of from 66 to 74 or 81. Yeah, this area was scalping because the market condition was the worst in my trading strategy. So I had to scalp that market. And my way of scalping is, I don't know, Diego, if you are a scalper or not, but I don't have the stop loss very close to the market, where the market is trading. So I just leave my stop loss away. And I forgot about, if you take too much risk, that profit you made will not be taken into the account. So that profit, after I made 5,300, when I contact with you, they told me that, well, that profit you made was high risk, was based on high risk, so we will not calculate that profit. So what I did after then, from 5,300 until 5,500, that was back to my strategy. Okay, so they asked me to do another 3%, to make another 3% by using the old way of doing the trade, not scalping the market. So I did that. To be honest, that period of time from trade 52 until trade 81, that was a scalping.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And from 0 to 52 is my real strategy, and from 117 until the end of the equity curve is the real strategy too. Yes. So yeah, just because of the market condition, and to be honest, I had to be adaptive. I had to be just a step back and relax until wait for the real market condition that suits my strategy, and that's it. But I just try to finish that off within very short period of time, and that doesn't work.
Brilliant. I actually cannot wait to see your performance on the actual portfolio manager stage, because there's not going to be any restrictions on the amount of trading days. So by the looks of it, your equity curve on the actual portfolio manager stage, it most likely will just be an uptrend forever. So that's going to be interesting to find out. Let's get started with the actual strategy. What is it? Can you explain it, or have you got any examples for the viewers?
Well, it's all about trend following. So I do follow the trend. Well, I would say the long-term trend, the daily trend on the 4-hour chart, I just draw a trend line. It has to be obvious trend line. It's not something like that. If you ask 10 traders, half of them would say, no, not that way. And the other one, yeah. So it has to be very obvious trend. I do use moving averages and 200 moving average. And I use RSI for divergence. That is my strategy. I don't really use something fancy. I don't use anything. Supply and demand zone and moving averages, done. So I try to buy the dips every time that trend line hits. So when the price goes back to the trend line, I buy. And to be honest, the success rate, I guess, is not because I do this, but because I do follow the fundamentals. I do really pay attention to fundamentals. So I don't really go against fundamentals at all. So, for example, at the period of evaluation, for example, the Bank of England, I think the Governor Bailey pushed back against negative interest rate. So what makes the pound very strong at that period of time. So at that certain period of time, I never go against pound. So this is what I normally do. If the bank appears to be very hawkish, for me, there is no way to take that short at all. So I do really pay much attention to fundamentals. And because my strategy is based on quite long term, I do use 4-hour charts. So if I'm a scalper, I don't really care about fundamentals, but to be honest, for quite long term, I have to pay too much attention to fundamentals. I know that other traders do it without looking at fundamentals, but for me, I do keep watching the fundamentals. I do really focus on them. I do find a lot of opportunities that can be taken against the fundamental bias, but I don't take them. So there are some advantage and disadvantage of doing that anyway.
100%. I mean, the fact that you've got a very simple strategy, clearly you can see it in your equity curve. You know, less is more, simple strategy, nothing too complicated. You know, fantastic. Let's look at your actual statement. Now, I was looking at it earlier, and again, you know, pretty decent small wins, $4, $19, $18, $30, and you know, I only spotted a -$28, -$28, and the rest are just really tiny losses and pretty decent wins. You know, fantastic performance, very, very, very consistent, extremely disciplined. No wonder you passed with flying colors. Now, if you look at your actual performance, the maximum drawdown, this is fantastic, 2.6%, nowhere near the 4% drawdown limit, with a 65% strike rate. This is fantastic. And your profit factor is 2.32. So this is more, you know, this is the reason why you're keeping in the game, you know, an average of a risk reward of a 2.32. So you can afford to lose 1 or 2 trades and you'll still be profitable on the third trade. Can you quickly explain these sort of stats and any advice that you can give for potential traders doing the evaluation?
I heard that you've changed a little bit the relative drawdown things. I have no idea about that, but I think I've heard something like that. But anyway, I don't know how is it now, but the old way of doing this was, I don't know how much was that, but anyway, the relative drawdowns was the toughest part of the challenge, I guess. And to be honest, to pass that, it's just easy. You just have to keep your risk low. Just take it easy. I mean, you have to pick the right trades. And the most important thing is to let the winning trades run. And to be honest, if you are trading against the trend, there is no way to keep the winning trade run. You have to cut that winning trade very quickly. So always go with the trend. So for me, when I trade, I go with 4-hour charts. And to be honest, yes, there is a potential to make, for example, 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. But I don't, when I take, when my profit, the second profit target gets hit, I don't really stop at that point. I just move my stop loss and let it run. So I do always keep money on the table because I do believe that it can run further and further. And a trader go back to his own trades and where did he took the profit? He will find out that, well, after he took that profit, the markets run higher. So I think there's no, for me, I don't really take profit very easily. So I do take half of them just to make sure that it will not turn against me later on. And then I do always keep money on the table. And sometimes, yes, I give that money to the market. So it does happen so many times. But I don't really care. As long as I have taken part of that profit, I'm very happy with that. I'm going to find another trade. So sometimes I do really have like 10 positions open, and all of them I have taken part of that profit, and I just let them run. And surprisingly, sometimes I find two or three of them have run way higher than I expected. So I don't normally have take profit in place. I don't normally have. I only close them manually, but I do always have a stop loss in place. So take profit, I don't really care, but stop loss is always there.
Fantastic. I mean, that's a clear example of reducing your losses and maximizing the gains. You know, these are all the clear traits of a professional trader. Any advice that you can give any future traders doing this evaluation?
Yes, sure. I would say go with the trend. Always go with the trend. And you have to sit on your hands a lot. So if you find good trades, just go ahead and take them. You don't have to trade every day. You don't have to trade every week. Just wait for the right setup, because this is this is absolutely something you have to achieve very easily. I mean, if you just follow the rules, you are going to smash it really. But if you just go ahead and look at the trade and say, okay, this looks good, I will take this one. Well, that might you might end up in very bad drawdown, and then you have to recover those losses again.
Fantastic. I mean, yeah, follow the trend and let the market come to you. Simple as that, guys. Khalid, thank you very much for your time, and I wish you all the best on your future success at CTI.
Thank you very much. And to be honest, I do really watch your daily analysis, and really amazing to see the shorter time frames. I don't trade short time frames. It's really tough for me, but I'll keep learning from you.
Oh, fantastic. And for those of you who don't know, I do live streams Monday to Thursday at 1 p.m. if you're interested. So yeah, again, I'll probably see you today in the live stream, Khalid, at 1 p.m. London. So again, wish you all the best and take care, Khalid.
Thank you very much. My pleasure to be here. Thank you.
See ya. Bye.
See you. Bye.